So we're going to be talking about waterborne diseases. And so when you travel to a foreign country, one of the first questions you often ask is the water safe to drink? And what's interesting is when you're asking that, you're really asking, like, is there fecal contamination in the waterway that could get me sick? You just say, is the water safe to drink? But really, you don't even know. But what you're asking really is there fecal contamination in the water? And so we're going to be talking about coliform. Coliform is a test that is done to determine if there's a potential fecal contamination in a water source. If there's a positive test, there may be waterborne diseases. There might not be, but there may be waterborne diseases present there. So what again is a waterborne disease? A waterborne disease is a disease that is spread by drinking contaminated water. So if someone with that disease pooped in the water or it got into the water supply, you could get that disease. So if I have cholera and my fecal matter gets into a water supply and you drink that, you could get cholera from me. Not 100% guaranteed. People are like, I would just know not to drink it. Again, there's the bacteria that's in your poop. You wouldn't even realize that bacteria was in the water. It's not going to like smell like poop or anything like that. So that's what a waterborne disease is spread by water. This graphic we're going to go through really quickly, but basically when they measure coliform here, they measure like total coliform. You have fecal coliform as a subset of that. And then there's even this E. coli and one type of E. coli, which is actually like a deadly form of E. coli. So, but the idea here, so certain types of E. coli can be harmful. Some can be extremely harmful. And so they measure total coliform. And if they get a positive, they're like, there's probably fecal contamination there. It doesn't guarantee it, but that's the simplest way. They don't test for all these other things. They just test for coliform. And if they get a positive, they say, don't drink it. That water is not safe. So, again, as we said, when you're traveling to a foreign country, what are you really asking about their water supply? About the fecal contamination. So coliform, okay, or waterborne diseases, the sources are poop from warm-blooded animals, typically, and poop contamination. And again, remembering poop has undigested food, dead red blood cells, and bacteria. And so it's the bacteria that's in the poop that you're testing for. This is all we're concerned about, is that poop there. And the bacteria in the poop. And that bacteria could get you sick. Environmentally, there's really no environmental impacts of coliform. What's interesting is people will talk about, oh, my dog eats poop, or what about the fish? Do they worry about it? Or the birds are drinking from the lake, and we know there's a lot of bird poop around that lake. Aren't the birds going to get sick? Most animals in nature don't get sick, but as humans, we are much more sensitive. As humans, if there's a positive test for coliform, it means there may be a waterborne disease in the water, such as cholera, dysentery, typhoid, or hepatitis A. It doesn't guarantee it, but those diseases could lead to death for people. In developed countries, people don't tend to think about this as much, but here, and this might be 7 deadliest diseases. This is actually a little bit dated now. I believe the 8th diarrheal disease is actually gone down, and it's like on 8th place now. But here, I'm sorry, this is of infectious diseases, not all causes of death. So yes, so the 3rd deadliest infectious disease, meaning a transmissible disease, a disease that can be spread from one person to another, is diarrheal diseases. So you see most of these deaths, though, are occurring in developing countries where sanitation isn't as good, sewage isn't treated, or they don't treat their drinking water and kill the bacteria in it before people ingest it. And so here, I'll go to the next slide very quickly. Notice leading causes of death in the US in 1900 was diarrhea, was number 3, and it's not even on the list now. And again, the reason for that is we now have our water treatment. So our water treatment has really, really taken care of that. So that is waterborne diseases, just a little connecting that back with poop and connecting that is human health impacts, not so much environmental impacts. I hope that was a helpful explanation.